Hello and welcome to Eco 250. I'm your professor, Professor Rick. Uh, Before we officially start next week, let me do a very quick welcome to the class and give you a tour of some of the online tools we're going to be using in this asynchronous online class. So first and most important is that we are on Brightspace. So if you go to mylearning.farmingdale.edu, it will bring you to this page where you will see the classes that you are enrolled in. These are the classes that I'm teaching, but if you click into here, that will bring you to our 250 class. So this is where most of our activity is going to happen. So most of the stuff is going to be in content. So when you click content, actually, let's go ahead and start at the front page. On the front page, you will see announcements. Now, this is an old announcement that I updated. I'll talk about this when I talk about what our typical weeks are going to look like. But anything new you'll see shows up right here. We've also got some indication about how far you've gone through this. The notes to self, you shouldn't see, that's just where I keep stuff related to the class. So as I change questions, things like that. Yours look like this, but still very similar. You've got your announcements, you've got some updates, so any changes going on in the class. And then most importantly, you've got the calendar showing due dates that are coming up. And I've got all the due dates for all the semester. Although I think times sometimes come out funny, right? There's some that are set to 6:59 p.m. and I have no idea what's going on there. Although actually this is from class. Am I in the right spot? I've got some tidying up to do, right? We're all learning Brightspace together. So don't sweat it. Oh, I mean, it's a little orange stuff. Whatever. So calendar, you're going to see all the deadlines, but most of the stuff is going to be content. And that includes some details about, are you ready to take an online class? So we've got a little link out to some resources from SUNY to see, is this going to work for you? If not, nothing wrong with that. You're free to drop the class and take something else. But make sure that you're going to be ready for this being an online, because you have to be self-directed. Make sure that you are putting reminders into your phone or whatever system is going to work so that you're not missing deadlines. Speaking of deadlines, syllabus, which I still have to update, but the spring syllabus is roughly the same. Basically, just the dates are going to change and the office hours. So the syllabus we can find under course information, course policies, college policies. These are sort of groundwork things. The important things are all in the syllabus itself, including the things that people miss and end up failing the class because they missed, right? So make sure that you read through this. If you have any questions, ask me. Email is a simple way to ask me. This phone number goes to my office, but I don't know how my phone works, so it's not very reliable. The other good way to ask me questions is I've set up a Discord server for all of my classes. And this is also a place where you guys can interact with each other. So I'll have an invite link to this. This is a free service. If you've used Discord before, you can change so that you look semi-professional, or you can set up a special Farmingdale account for participating on this. If you want to keep your account separate, totally fine. It's a good idea, actually. So on Discord, we've got these different chat rooms, right? So we've got a channel for this class. So if you've got questions about the class or you want to see previous questions people have asked in the past, you can scroll back. You can say, hey, I've got some question about, module 2 or whatever. You can search to see if someone's asked that question already. There's also general things, off topic, and these rooms that we've set up. Skip that for now. These rooms I've set up where you can interact with each other real time by audio and video, or I guess these are by audio. By video also. So these are places where you can organize study sessions with each other virtually without having to meet in person. So take advantage of this, right? Think of this as sort of that time before a class or right after a class where you ask the professor questions or you chat with your classmates or whatever, that's you, right? So uh, this is the simple way to get help, to ask questions, to see if other people are having the same sort of problems that you're running into. All right, so we've got the syllabus. Some recommended resources. We don't have a formal textbook, but I've got a list of some resources on here that I think are very helpful. And then also we have Khan Academy. So I've set up a class for us. I have to move over all the old assignments, but we're going to have part of our grade based on our performance on Khan Academy. There are details further below in the syllabus, but this is going to be 1/3 of your. We're kind of using Khan Academy as sort of an informal way to not have to use a syllabus or a formal homework system. So you're great as long as we're looking at it. Khan Academy is 1/3. The other third is going to be, other 2/3 is 1/3 problem sets, 1/3 timed quizzes. So once we're into the semester, the typical flow is going to be every other week we have a problem set, and in between those weeks we have a timed quiz. So let's take a quick look at what those look like. So if we go back to content to see how I got here. We go to content, we go to learning modules by week. We'll start right here, but as we go through this, looks like I have to change some deadlines still. As we go through, you'll get into the modules. First module is kind of just getting us started. So module 2 is really where it starts to look like the regular semester. Module 2 is a quiz quiz module. So you'll click into the quiz, you will get some questions, and you have 30 minutes to do this, right? So with the quizzes, what I want you to do is to sort of take a no holds barred approach to this. And giving you a tight time constraint, I want you to show your work, but I am happy with you getting the answer however you want. Right? These are real world workplace rules, not quite the artificial school rules that we're used to. So if you use something like Wolfram Alpha, that's totally fine, but you have to show your work. I've got some details about it. Right, so you do the quiz, maybe open up a spreadsheet to help you go through the arithmetic faster. Maybe you're searching for stuff as you're going. Obviously, you don't want to jump into the quiz before you're ready for it. Right? So each module, check the overview, go through the stuff, make sure you feel pretty good about the concepts before you jump in. Now, the quizzes, some of them are easier, some of them are harder, but they're timed, so they're kind of a stressful experience. So make sure you're setting yourself up for success. Now, that said, your lowest 2 get dropped anyway, so don't worry too much about any one of them, but do make sure that you are setting yourself up to do well. All right, so you're going to have a quiz. When you finish the quiz, you're then going to show your work. I don't want to have to make you show your work under the time constraint, right? Because then you're not making wise use of your 30 minutes. But you get your quiz in, and then you've got your scratch paper, take pictures with your phone, upload that. If you used Wolfram Alpha, you can copy paste stuff, right? So let's say maximize y equals 3x squared minus 28x. Let's say I asked you to maximize something like this. This is showing your work, right? This is you giving enough that I can see how you got it. Even though you're not doing the mechanical paper and pencil math that you would have had to have done 50 years ago, 2022, right? You can use the internet. Your work is supposed to be individual, but I am open to you finding however it is that you want to do. Once you do your work, you've got to show your work. If you don't show your work, you do not get the grade for the quiz. All right, so that's a typical quiz week. The week itself, right? You go into the module, you check the overview. There are some videos. I'm gonna have to change some of the stuff for this to make this a little bit easier, a little bit smoother. But then these videos, I'll have playlists, right, where I give some explanations of some things. Sometimes I'll include some other stuff. So for example, when we're talking about symbolic logic, this 10,000 domino computer, really neat application of logic, of symbolic logic, that is not something I'm going to test you on, but it might give you a little bit uh, of motivation for the abstract stuff we're doing in this class. All right, so that was a quiz week. Other kinds of weeks are going to be, uh, brain is falling apart already, problem set weeks. So for a problem set here, you don't have a timer. You do have a deadline, but you can take as long as you want, as long as you get it in deadline. So here, you're going to have some questions. This one's a little bit weird, so let me show you a more typical one. Here, you're going to be doing the work in an Excel file, but a typical week, it lends itself a little bit more readily to paper and pencil. So for example, if we look at Module 7, you got some questions, you answer those questions, click the title here, you upload your work. If you do them in Word, you upload a Word file. If you take it on paper and pencil, you can take pictures, upload it. As long as I can read it and get through, that's fine. Although, I believe this was my announcement, for the show your work, PDF and Word are fine, JPEG is fine, image formats are fine. The one thing I've never had success with is .pages file. So if you have a Mac, don't send me a .pages file. The school doesn't pay me enough to buy a Mac, so I have no way to open it. If you do, I'll give you a 0 for that assignment, and I'll say, please send it back. Please send back a format that I can use. So that's going to be basically our situation. Let me show you some Khan Academy stuff. That pretty much wraps it up. So, like I said, our grades, Khan Academy, quizzes, and problem sets. We aren't going to do exams in this class. The timed quizzes are kind of my way to get away from needing to do something like typical formal exam. Rather than have a big midterm and a big final, basically I have a few small quizzes that are like exams. They're like midterms in that you're doing them on a timer, but since the lowest ones get dropped, it's sort of your overall performance across the semester that matters. If you have an off week, it's not that big a deal. So, on Academy stuff, when you go into the overview, typically have 2 links. I'll usually have 1 or 2 assignments. You'll also see once we set up Khan Academy, it will tell you about what assignments are coming up. Now, Khan Academy, the software is not super great for doing deadlines, but once everyone's on the class, then it's easy for me to set up deadlines. If you are slow signing up for Khan Academy, you're probably going to miss a couple deadlines, and you're going to be using up those lowest grades get dropped. Insurance policy a little too soon. So you go into Khan Academy, it's going to give you some stuff. Sometimes it's just an assignment of watch this video, right? So you click in, you
We
watch the
talk about
video,
money.
and you get through all the way. It's going to rack up your energy points, and it's going to show me on the back end that you did that. Of course, it's not going to show if you're not logged in, so make sure you're doing that. So you'll have a couple of Khan Academy assignments. In this case, I think it's just videos for Module 7, but it's going to drop you into a part of Khan Academy where you get some context. And so I don't want to say, here are the 30 things on Khan Academy that are going to be useful this week. Instead, I'm going to say, here's the 2 things on Khan Academy I'm going to grade you on. But there are things around here that might be helpful making sense of what's going on in this topic. So for the topic of the time value of money, here we got a video on the time value of money, but we've also got this section on interest. That works. See how the rule of 72 works. Explore through here to augment stuff that's strictly required. Essentially, what I'm doing in this class is I'm making very few things strictly required, but I am making it sort of open and encouraging you to explore and to find ways to solve problems. All right, that said, I have been rambling on for almost 15 minutes, so if you have any questions, simplest way to ask is probably on Discord. Like I said, the invite link is going to be on Brightspace soon, and I will see you all in the future.